Okay, so I like the background. Ooh, I, stimulation. Okay, so I wanted to talk about, and that's why I'm here, in the bottom of the ocean floor, because I want to talk about inner feelings, about everything. For instance, let's talk about how do you feel in a social situation. Okay, first of all, okay, one thing that is about me, and I always have noticed, like since I was growing up, is that I enjoy very much being by myself. Many times I do not feel lonely, even when I was growing up, like say when I was like a child. I really enjoy being by myself because I have time to read all I want, to paint, to just think and imagine all kind of things, write stories. I always like writing short poems or short stories. So I didn't have at home TV when I was growing up, so everything was about reading, and I believe my imagination got so rich and wild because of that, and I'm very happy I had the opportunity to have so much time to just be myself and read all I want. Uh, I spent my time just thinking all kind of things, like for instance, when I was 8, I remember asking my mom, so how do you know that this world is this big? How do you know if it's not just part of a giant uh, world or planet? Maybe we are just very tiny and we don't know in comparison to what is around us. And I remember my mom telling, please, just go play over there. But I always had these questions about life and about, the universe and magic and all kind of things. And so I never felt alone, really. I always, and when I remember saying my teen years, I had one good friend, Jorge, and we used to talk about everything, like about our dreams and about what we wanted to do when we were older. And he wanted to be a fashion designer, I wanted to be a doctor, and he wanted to be a psychologist, and I wanted to be a painter, and I wanted to be in theater, and all these things. And many of these things I did, and I'm very happy, and I have been very blessed because of that. Um, on the other hand, about being by myself, it makes me feel happy, at peace. Um, I can just obviously be myself. In comparison, when I am with other people, say for example at school, when I was growing up, I always like the academics. I'm pretty good. I have very good grades, mostly when I had the time to do my homework and all those things. Um, so I like school. I like learning very much, and I always had a very good memory. I could remember all kind of facts and everything. One of my favorites was geography and science. I always loved that, and obviously, I also like singing, like my dad, and I was very drawn to acting. I love theater, and I love musicals. I like dancing. I like ballet, which I don't practice, but I love it. Like many of the fine arts, I like. I like sculpting. I love mermaids, and so I like sand sculpting. Um, so many of these things and hobbies I was able to do because I was alone. Like I was not like wasting my time. Well, I'm not criticizing video games because I also like video games, but not as much as I used to do fine arts or just arts in general. I really like that. I enjoy it. Now, when I am in a group of people, I feel see how do I explain. Okay, I feel like I do not really belong there. Sometimes I don't even know what they are talking about. Like once people start engaging in small talk, because they are not important facts to me at all. Like, I mean, I don't even know what to answer. So I usually say, oh, okay. Oh, really? Mm, yeah. Wow. And then I try to change the conversation to something that it might be more interesting to me. But for example, when people start talking like about the weather or about other people, like I don't like talking about other people. I mean, it's not like I want to talk about me only, but I don't like talking like say with if I'm with a friend, not a friend, but like a coworker or someone. I don't like talking about a third person. You know, like some people have their conversation about what other people do and how they behave and the wrong things that they do or say or whatever. I don't like that at all. I don't like listening to gossip either, which probably is the same thing. I think it's a waste of time and it's just draining. Like I don't want to know what all the bad things other people is doing. Like if they say something that is good, like oh somebody just got married and they are very happy, they have a kid, maybe I'm interested in knowing that. But not the bad stuff. Like I don't really want to be talking about it. Um, I don't like arguing, and at the same time, growing up, like that's the major thing all the time. Like my mom would be arguing with everybody at home, like because we were living with my grandmother, so they would be arguing my aunts and my mom, my uncle and my mom, and then for instance, then my cousin and my uncle sometimes will argue, but I always feel like I have been peaceful unless somebody's like constantly pushing me. Then of course I will react. For instance, say at work, when people is constantly like trying to put you down in a way, or like kind of like trying to say that because you don't talk much with them, you don't know anything either. Like for instance, I know that I know a lot of things that other people don't, but I don't like to be like boasting about the knowledge that I have acquired. Because I mean, what is the point? Now, if somebody has a problem and I need to use those skills, then I will. But I don't like to be just like talking and just saying things like that. I'm just not like that. Let's see, what other thing? Like for example, at work, if somebody is constantly pressuring me, then I don't like it, and I probably don't say anything at first. But if the person continues, like I kind of like start like being annoyed by it, and then little by little start getting all the way until I'm like oh, then I go ahead and tell them what I really think, and I usually will tell them the truth, of course, but in a way that not purposely, but I usually once I say something the way I think, like people just cry because I say it in a way that is very hurtful. But then at the same time, they don't realize when they are being rude or just disrespectful, basically. And they probably thought that because I was quiet, I was shy and I didn't want to say anything. And usually I don't say anything at the beginning because I don't want to be arguing with people. But if people pushes me too much, then obviously I will try to defend myself and do it. But then usually it's gonna be like a total explosion that they are not going to like. Yeah. Let's see about other feelings that I have. Okay, when I'm in a group, I was saying. Um, if it is a group of people that I like and I know, I feel a lot, of course, much more comfortable. And once then we start talking about, whatever, or doing something, I feel comfortable. But then in the beginning, I always feel this like, I don't really know how to start the conversation, so usually I jump into deep issues instead of just talking the small talk, which I don't know how to make, or I don't understand why would you need to talk about those things first if you can just go ahead and talk about the important stuff without wasting your time, you know. Like if I need to ask something, for example, if I need to ask a favor to someone, I usually, let's say that if I need a recommendation for work, I know that I can count on someone, and I will call them and say, hey, how are you doing? Oh, really? Oh, okay, good. And then I'm thinking, okay, I need to ask this person this thing. And I'm trying to look for the best moment, but they keep talking about the small talk, like for 10-15 minutes. And then I'm like, hey, so I wanted to ask you a favor. I need this, or I would like you to help me with this. And sometimes people has said, I kind of like come too direct or is rude. And yeah, so I'm trying to improve on that so far. Okay. So it's 11 minutes, so I'm going to try to make another video.